What up, guys? This is ECO YGO, and we're going to do a deck profile of my Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragons is my favorite deck. I've been playing them for about 16 years now, ever since they first came out in Cybernetic Revolution. This deck has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I'm playing it in what I consider the most pure version of the deck, which is just straight up Power Bond OTK. So the whole principle of this deck is going to be to resolve Power Bond and just muscle through anything your opponent has. Now, this version of the deck is the least consistent, I will say that. The Cyber Combo and Cyber Stun variants of the deck do work better for competitive play. However, I figured for the first showcase of this deck, I should make it my favorite version of the deck, what I consider the most fun. Now, this version of the deck does get a power increase with the Cyber Dark Structure deck coming out via Cyber Dark Chimera, which allows you to search out your power bonds. So I will do an updated deck profile when that comes out, but we're going to start off with 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, the OG art, which is personally my favorite art. Cyber Dragon revolutionized the game when it came out as a monster that you're just able to freely special summon and completely changed the history of the game. First of its kind to ever do that. Now we're going to go on to what I consider the baby Cyber Dragon lineup with 3 copies of Core. Core on normal summon is a mandatory search effect for a Cyber Spell or Trap. If it's in your grave and your opponent has monsters and you don't, you can banish it to summon Cyber Dragon from your deck, so he has utility there. But your main value off of Core is the Cyber Spell Trap search, and the fact that he changes his name to Cyber Dragon when he's on the field or in the graveyard. Let's pick these up. Going on now, the other 3 of for the baby line is 3 copies of Hertz. Cyber Dragon Hertz is level 1, which comes up in extra deck plays, but he also changes his name to Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If you're able to special Hertz, he becomes level 5, which is cool, but his main value here is when he's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard or your deck to your hand. So when he's sent to the graveyard, you can now get a copy of Core from the graveyard in order to get more spell trap searches, or you can get a copy of the OG Cyber Dragon. So he comes up there. Now we're going to go with the last Cyber Dragon name we played, 2 copies of Nashter. Nashter is okay at best. When he came out, we thought he was going to revolutionize Cyber Dragon, but he's not. He's really cool for the Power Bond version because everything I summon is going to be machine. If you're playing the combo version or the stun version, he's just merely an okay card. So he kind of acts as a pseudo Galaxy Soldier, being able to pitch a card in your hand in order to summon it. He then has an effect that says you can summon a monster that has 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard. However, you can only summon machines for the rest of this turn. So what's cool about him is that you can use him to get a free body on board, proc off the Hertz in your hand, and get a search that way, and then go on and do like Cyber Dragon combo stuff. Now we got 3 copies of probably one of the best cards in the deck, Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier, you should know by now, discard a light, special summon it, search out another copy of Galaxy Soldier. The fact that he is a level 5 light machine, though, completely makes this card amazing for the deck. He has the ability to make him alone is an instant Cyber Dragon Infinity. He is an amazing asset to this deck, and he should only be played at 3, never less. No matter what version of this deck you play. Now, because this is the going second version, the Power Bond OTK, we're playing 2 copies of Jizakuru, the Star Destroying Kaiju. Personally, I think Jizakuru at 2 is the standard for any of the Cyber Dragon variants. However, some people will like to play him at 1 or more copies. It just kind of depends on what you do at that point. When you do it like that, then, so when you play this many, you're able to tribute over opponent's monsters that have an issue, then you're able to suck them up with your kaijus, and it just makes it easier. What we got going on now is the only hand trap I play, which is the Cyframe package. We're going to play 3 Gamma here and 1 Driver because it just makes sense for our Go on Second deck, the ability to stop anything. Driver's kind of mandatory for it, and it's just the best hand trap in general and the best one Go on Second. So next, we're going to go on to our spells. We're going to play 3 copies of Emergency. If you kept up with the meta at all in Emergency, you should know by now Drytron steals our cards all the time. It adds a light machine that cannot be normal summon or set from your deck to your hand, or it can add any Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So, every card, monster-wise, in our deck, Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Hertz, Cyber Dragon Aster, they're all Cyber Dragon monsters, so therefore, Emergency can search them all. Absolutely 3 of it is an amazing rota for the deck. Another 3 of we're going to play is 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication is okay for the Go on Second variant. If you're playing the Stun variant, I highly recommend you do not play this at all. But for the Go on Second variant, the OTK, I recommend this at 3 because our babies, all 8 of them, the Nasters, the Hertz, and the Cores, are all under 500 attack, are all machines, and they all change their name to Cyber Dragon. So if you machine dupe any of the babies, you're going to get 2 copies of the level 5 Cyber Dragon to the field, because that's their new name. It's a cool way to cheat him out. Going on now, we're going to play only 2 copies of Repair Plant. Repair Plant is okay for a combo-based deck or anything like that. That's going to be able to get Cyber Dragon to the graveyard faster than we can. However, our main goal is just to win as fast as possible. So you only really need 2, and you're probably not even going to resolve this. The only way you're going to resolve this in the Go on Second variant is if you have Naster or Galaxy Soldier, but still it's just too good not to pass up. It really fixes your hands with the ability to either add a Kaiju back late game or the ability to search out the missing combo piece you need. We're going to play 2 copies of Power Bond. We're only playing 2 because Power Bond, unless you have the setup, is probably your worst fusion card. Yes, he is an instant win button, but we're only playing 2 because we need consistency and power, not just power. Speaking of consistency, I'm playing 2 copies of Pot of Desires. A lot of people say 3 is the correct ratio. However, I'm an honest believer that 2, because you never want to Desires and draw 2 more Desires. If you notice, we're playing a lot of 3 of us in this deck, so Desires is perfectly fine in this deck. And you play 2. That way you don't see 2 Desires off of Desires. We're going to play 2 copies of Overload Fusion. Overload Fusion allows you to use your graveyard as fusion material, and is a quick way to get like 2 fusion monsters off of 1 set of materials. Going on, I'm playing 2 copies of Dark Ruler No More. To be honest, this card could easily go up to a 3 for the deck. I just don't know what else I would cut to hit this at 3. But it's very good. Go on second, you draw it, slap it down, you're able just to go off and win. Then for my 1-ofs, I play 1 Overload Fusion. Overload Fusion cycles banished materials back to the deck in order to make fusion, so he's real cool for a follow-up play. The fact that he's a quick effect also means that if you have Power Bond, you're able to Power Bond, attack with a Power Bond and monster. If it's not game, slap down the Overload quick effect in battle phase, game it that way. Go on second deck, we need to hate back row, so I have 1 Feather Duster in here, just to kind of wipe out back row for Eldritch matchups. Another anti-back row card, we got Red Reboot, that way they can't play traps on us if it's like an Altergeist match. And then 2 Cybernetic Overflow. Cybernetic Overflow is a great trap. You can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your field, hand, and just non-target destroy, target send shit to the graveyard. It's really good for clearing fields, and it's really an amazing card. Yes, it is counterintuitive to the Go on Second version of the deck. However, not every version of the deck is going to be Go Second OTK. You need these in here. Going on for the extra deck now. We played 2 copies of Infinity, but 3 copies of Nova. You're going to go into Nova more times than Infinity. Nova is a great OTK maker. We play 3 copies of Nova in the OTK version. 2 copies of Infinity. Infinity is a great resource card. He's great if you're forced to go first in this deck. So there's that. Infinity on itself, is a meta warping card. Even today, like, people are terrified of facing the CDI. Going on to our main win con of the deck, we got 2 copies of Rampage. Rampage is a 21. He is a heavy storm. To where on summon you can pop cards equal to the amount of materials you use to make them, and he can get 3 attacks per turn. So him plus Power Bond is a 4,200 that's going to hit 3 times, which is an instant win. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Chimera Tech Fortress. We do this because of the Jisakiri's, the ability to suck up the Kaiju that we gave our opponent. But just in case we're playing against any other machine deck in the matchup, Fortress is nice. Because of the return of Dragon Link, I'm liking the 1 Mega Fleet, just to suck up something that they have in the actual Monster Zone to try to break the board a little faster. Then our Link package is 1 Link Karibo because of the level 1 babies, 1 Zeger in order for battle tricks, and he's a Cyber Dragon name. 1 copy of Steel Star Regulator. Steel Star Regulator in this deck can get up to be about 4,500, so he gets really big out of nowhere, and a lot of people don't expect it. Because it is an OTK deck, we're going to go Bull Sword Dragon just to enable OTKs faster. And we're playing 1 Appaloosa Bow the Goddess because we can swarm the field with different Cyber Dragons and just link off for if we don't have the OTK. Mainly this is in here because of the side deck. The side deck changes this version of the deck from Power Bond OTK to Cyber Stun, which is why I call it Cyber Smokescreen. Now, if you're just playing the OTK version, you would just side in, go on first cards, more hand traps, different forms that we can get negations and all that. But for me, I like playing Cyber Smokescreen. So this is my Cyber Dragon deck profile. I'm ECOYGO signing off. Stay tuned next week, and I'll have up a different version of Cyber Dragons up and ready for y'all. Thank you.